say. It's sounding good. All right, testing 1 2 1 2. Does my mic sound nice?
Yes.
All right, let's go. Hey, welcome to the Venus Lounge, the number one podcast in the galaxy. Galaxy dedicated to mothers, working moms, creatives, creators, trying to find their creativity, autonomy, individuality in the chaos. I'm your host, Renee Moncada-McElroy, representing on the first and the 15th. Because that's when the bills are due. Hey, I'd like to welcome y'all. The mothership has landed. Alien Mac Kitty. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you.
We're going to get into it. But before that, I need to tell you guys where to find all of us and how to follow us and show appreciation. Right? So I'm at It's the Venus Lounge on Instagram. And on YouTube, it's the Venus Lounge podcast. And you can also catch us on KPFA now. So you can follow us at KPFA 94.1 on Instagram and Facebook, or KPFA Radio on Twitter, Twitch TV, and YouTube. Listener-supported radio, cornerstone in the independent media market. And so we're here, and we're enjoying these little airwaves. Alien Mac Kitty, what's up?
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm super excited to be here. I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy too. I'm
happy to be present in the moment. And yes, it's such a good vibe here. So I appreciate you for having me.
Oh, right on. So, how was your week?
It's been going.
It's been going.
It's been going, but I'm thankful to be here. It's been a week, you know. It's like the processes of the week, and I feel like I'm always working. I'm always doing something, and it's like to the point where yesterday I was reminded that it was the first day of spring, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, where does the time go? So just been trying to catch up and stay present and stay proactive and just be organized.
Be organized, because you just said earlier, I'm always working only to work some more.
Yep.
And I was like, that's not a mother or creator. So I did introduce your title, Alien Mac Kitty, artist, creator. Yes. And so you have 2 albums out. Is that correct?
I have one album and
okay.
a few like singles.
Mm-hmm.
You all are able to follow me on all my social media handles as Alien Mac Kitty. All my music is streamed as a.m.k on all platforms. YouTube's the same, Alien Mac Kitty. I have my latest project, which is my first project that I put together, and it's called Out Her Space. And you can find that on all platforms. Search Out Her Space, a.m.k.
Such a vibe, because I watched your videos, and the Eagle Eye, what was it? Eagle Eye? I go. And I notice there's certain themes that are running throughout your music, through your art, and it's always some super galactic, Afro, centric, and then some spirituality in there too. And I love that. That's like a perfect match for the Venus Lounge. So how did you get to, how did all of these sort of backgrounds sort of blend together in your music?
I started I've always been creative. I just had different avenues and different ways of how I would create. My mom passed away when I was 18. And during that time, my father passed when I was 11. But I've always been like super creative. If I wasn't like drawing something or playing video games or something like that, I was making beats or editing videos, and I like to read. I just had like a wandering mind, and I just like to go inside my imagination and just create. And I always loved music because my mom used to sing, my dad's a rapper. So I felt like music, listening to music, and then coming from like a musically inclined family background, I used to just like get lost in the music sometimes. There would be times where I would just listen to music super sped up or super slow, or like certain sounds and stuff, and it will also help me like create, like whether if I'm writing something or reading or playing my video games. But after my mother passed, I it was difficult for me because I lost a lot of that. I lost a
Mm.
lot of like my creativity. And that was a piece of me that was gone. So it didn't really come back to me until maybe like a few years after she passed.
Mhm.
I got reintroduced to art. And I was actually at like a paint and sip event,
Mhm.
and I was painting, and it kind of went from there. I never was like the best. I didn't think I was like the best artist in drawing, but I remember like I stopped following the instructions of the person who was hosting the event, and it, I
Okay.
mean, it have of it had something to do with the wine, and I was like, this is different, and I noticed that people gravitated to my canvas, um,
Interesting.
and I thought like, okay, mine looks nothing like everyone else's looks so good, but they were like, no, this is art, this is art. So that opened the door to me getting introduced to like figuring out a way to express myself with my emotions of what I was going through.
Right.
After my mother passed, I didn't go to therapy. I went to school the next day. I went
Oh
back, jumped
wow.
back into work because I didn't really have the support that I needed from, family and friends. And I was so young, and I just knew like, okay, life goes on. I just jumped in.
Mhm.
Um, and I wasn't super educated on like mental health
Right.
and what comes with that. I come from Black women, so we're strong. We
Right.
jump in, we do whatever. So I'm going by what I watched my mother do for so long, my grandmother, and just the women that I've been around. I'm thinking this is the right way to do it. Just be strong, just keep going. But
Right.
I didn't realize that
It's
it
not.
it's not.
Yeah.
So art, when I started to paint, some of my very like first pieces of art were um it was dark and it was just a lot, but in the moment and still to this day, I it was a feeling like I could literally like just feel it. Like there was a feeling of stillness and nothing. Like I was just zenned out. A
Mhm.
year after my mother passed away, I had my child. So I'm a new mom dealing with like postpartum, just a lot of stuff.
Everything.
I just
Yes.
wasn't knowledgeable, and grief at the same time. So
Woo.
art really saved my life.
Yes.
And then from there, I got into my cousin James introduced me to trap art. And shout out to Amina and
Yes.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Um, and from trap art opened the doors to coming around different artists. Before I got introduced to trap art, I did go like look at galleries and stuff, and I saw like the art wasn't I wasn't really connecting to it, because in certain art communities it's like, oh, this is
This is
prestigious,
the
and yeah,
right.
like
It's
I
intimidating.
can't
It's
connect
snobby.
to a bowl of fruit. So
Right.
when I got introduced to trap art, I saw there were other people, under other individuals like myself, that were creating how they felt, and it was just amazing. And I connected with other people like my mentor Irk Originals, and just it was just a whole community. And
Mhm.
it also introduced me to, now that I'm painting and I'm an artist, it also introduced me to hustling and being an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
So from that, painting went to me investing into my clothing that my t-shirt brand that came from eh,
I got
my
the t-shirt
t-shirt brand
on. Alien
that
Mac
came
Kitty.
from a painting, Brown Liquor Matters.
Mhm.
And I painted that, and I that was my first like piece on a t-shirt that took off. And then from there it was like, okay, this is AMK, or this is before I was just Mac Kitty at the
Mac
time.
Kitty. Okay.
um I'm doing all these things, I'm creating, but I'm also into like making content and stuff like that. And then I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I wanted to take pictures. And Trap Art introduced me to doing photography and just kind of getting more out there. Um, and then that led into, finally, I'm like, you know what? I want to try music. But there was a point in time when I was doing my art where it was like, I'm hustling, I'm making money, and I'm doing my thing, but I just was just like all over the place.
Yeah.
So, um, being a multifaceted artist, sometimes
Mhm.
we can show energy towards like just the painting, and we forget we know how to do this, that, and everything else.
Yep. Yep.
And in the midst of everything, the main most important thing is I'm a mom. So I had to figure out how to tie in everything. And I also just losing my parents at such a young age and them being so young, I just don't want to not say I did it. I just didn't want to not
I
try.
always think about that.
Yeah. So I jumped in, I tried music maybe like 4 years ago, and boom.
Here we are.
Yeah. And I tied everything in. So there was a point in time where I did get lost into my art, and I didn't have like a sense of grounding. I was creating, but I didn't have like any stable foundation. And I'm also creating from a broken place. So I said, you know what?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I said, you know what? I'm done with Mac Kitty, this persona Mac Kitty. I'm over it. I need to be Mariah. I need to get back in tune with Mariah. And that's my name. Like, that's who I am. So I took a break, rebranded everything. I was nervous because I'm like, I have a following based off Mac Kitty, but this is a egotistical person that I'm over this girl. Like, she's broken. She's hurting. So shifted from that. I took a step. I faced that. Still got love and support, started the music, and I'm like, okay, I want to get back into it, but I can't do this without Mac Kitty. And then it's like Alien Mac Kitty,
Come here, girl.
We're here. So yeah.
So it all came. So you mentioned something about being creating from a broken place, and like a lot of times that's where some of the best work comes from. Even for me, when something is happening and it's sad and it's grieving,
Absolutely.
and you feel crazy. For some reason, and it's almost like this thing where you're an artist or creative, you're almost like not searching for pain, but you are wanting to get close to it and feel it. When you do your art and your creativity, do you feel like some of those broken spaces are healed and mended, specifically your mom, in the situation with your mom and your dad?
I feel that I have been in a place I still suppress it in ways, because if I sit in it, it really hurts. But I've learned to channel that energy. And I have healed in aspects, in ways, by surrendering to the reality of it and releasing them. Because that was probably the hardest part. I was like, you know what? I have to let this go because it's hurting. And although I am creating, this is still energy that's being transferred to the world. And yeah, people like it, but this is coming from a place of pain. And if I'm trying to reach the masses and like create, I want to be able to connect as well. I don't want to purchase out and then I'm still looked at as an entertainment source.
Well, do you think people can still relate and connect to you through the pain though?
Yeah.
Because some people may feel like, oh, she's going through this and look how beautiful it's still coming out. So maybe, that's helping people.
I try to heal and also be honest when I'm in those modes. Not every the journey is not always going to be light and love. Sometimes we have to feel those moments of darkness and pull yourself through. So yeah, I do relate to a lot of people, and I allowed myself to be transparent and vulnerable, and that has helped a lot. And it brings me down to a place where people can, I want to motivate people to not be so afraid of it. It is what it is.
It is what it is. For those of you just joining us, you're watching the Venus Lounge. Today's special guest is Alien Mac Kitty AMK. I'm your host, Renee Moncada-McElroy, and we are so happy to be here. We're talking about creativity, motherhood, trauma, how we filter it through to heal ourselves and others.
Yes.
And I have Billy Jam on one of the comments.
Billy
Jam. What's up, Billy?
Billy.
He is an archivist. Hip Hop Slam was the show. He has so much footage and such a love for hip hop. We always have really great conversations. But he posted a photo on his Instagram, Hip Hop Slam or Billy Jam, I think it was, of your father, Coog Nut, from San Francisco rapper.
Yes.
I don't know if many of you know Coog Nut.
Yes.
So how old were you when your father passed away, and what kind of legacy in terms of the music did he leave with you?
Billy, thank you. I just have to say thank you because those moments that you've captured are like really all I have. So to be able to, and I'm trying not to be emotional, but if I do, it's just,
we're gonna have to get her that photo too, Billy.
To be able to capture those moments, I can play and I could listen and understand more. And there was an interview that he was doing, and he was talking about the industry and like even like his favorite song. I found out his favorite song is one of my favorite songs by him, but the words that he's saying, if he were here, like what would he say to me? And I have that to reference. So thank you, Billy. But those are really big shoes to fill. And my dad being a Frisco legend, pioneer, and just a trailblazer, and doing it at the time he did it, it's incomparable. I have a lot of respect for my father, and I have a lot of love for him. He had a lot of love for me, and my sister Aja. I do this in honor of my family. He loved Frisco so much.
Yes, he did.
He that man passed away with Frisco, the love of Frisco, and me carrying on the legacy. I had a lot of people reach out to me, re-rap his songs and come like him. And
I was wondering if you would do any of that. We talk about energy.
Yeah.
You have some of his energy, girl. When I watch some of your videos and the intensity and the intention behind your lyrics, you are a lot like your daddy.
I feel him. I think I remember when I very first performed, that was the first time I really felt him there. And I'm like, whoa, like it was just like I could feel him. Like it's a spirit. Like, this is just a body. And when the spirit is, we're able to break free. That's what he was. He was a free beautiful spirit. Yes. And that's why when people met him, when I hear stories about them meeting him one time, or the stories, he was outrageous. He was outrageous. But I wanted to do it my way. And I'm also carrying his legacy by continuing putting his music out, connecting with the right people to carry out his legacy. I've literally sat back and watched people take the name and just do whatever. I mean, it's been disrespectful, and I've been quiet. I've been observant. I feel many big ways about it, because although he was an artist and a rapper, that was still my father.
That's right.
So I've seen people just do certain things and not reach out to the family and not check in on me or his other daughter or his grandmother and his sister that's still alive. So now that I'm an adult, and I think people still think I'm that little girl, I'm not that little girl, and I am my father's child. So with that being said, I am his legacy. I'm everything. I go to that grave site and wipe that up and leave those fresh flowers there and talk to them and talk to him. And when I have, I feel like it's my responsibility. And I had this conversation with my little cousin Timmy. Shout out to Tim. He's an amazing artist coming from San Francisco, Lakeview. Just he has it. He has the spark. All of us have that spark. I told him I feel responsible being the eldest daughter to my sister. I feel responsible to have to get up and get the music out and sort these things out. I have to have uncomfortable conversations with people that I don't want to, but I have to press these issues. I have to push that, because if I'm not mimicking and using his name in a way that is going to be simply beneficial for clout or whatever the case may be, what makes you think that I'm going to let it slide with anyone else? And this is a real life thing. Losing a parent is difficult, but that responsibility to carry that legacy. I mean, my hair is going gray. Sometimes I'm like, Dad, what do you have me out here doing?
Not just one parent, two parents, your mother and your father.
And I can't think of, I can't think of the other one without thinking of the other. And it's difficult, but I think he would be proud at the way I do it. In regards to recreating his music and stuff, I'm not opposed to it, but I like doing it in my way.
It has to be the right circumstances,
absolutely.
The right situation.
And I just I've just been turned off at the fact that it's like so many people have tried it, and it's just like, dude, if he was here, it would not.
He would not like that.
Absolutely not. And we're not doing it the right way. I'm all for doing it the right way.
Yeah. Can we talk about some of your music, some of your videos? Like, do you come up with a concept for your videos? And I'm just so, I can tell you do a lot with a little bit.
Yeah.
I can watch the videos.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, I know some of the tricks of the trade.
Renee, yes.
But they look amazing.
Thank you.
So are you hands-on in every aspect of
everything, every little thing? It wasn't until I saw like the Beyonce,
good old Beyonce.
It wasn't until I saw Beyonce's documentary where she's involved in
everything.
Overlooking, because sometimes I feel like I'm doing too much. No.
Or just as a woman, sometimes people feel like, when you're working on teams, at least this has been my experience, and you can share this with me, that you're there to look a certain way and just do that.
Yeah,
and that you don't know about sound. You don't know about how things are wired up. Like you want to make sure that every layer and every aspect of the production, that's also creative process as well. And how that's going to be carried out. And then, people tell you, oh no, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we could do that. Yes, you can.
Oh my God. Yes, that is that. You can, because you can. And I'm going to make sure, and we're going to look, if we have to walk through it, or I've jumped in and edited it. Even now, like, I'm always a sponge. I'm always
wanting to learn.
If I go do another podcast interview, from this is just this experience alone, I saw the process of everything getting set up. So if we were to come in here and I'm doing something and someone says, oh, the headphones are just for show, they really don't work, and the music can't play at the same time, I'm gonna be like, I know. So
I was at the Venus Lounge and I saw it all go down.
But yes, I am in control of, I oversee all my stuff. If I'm not jumping into it, then I'm making sure it gets done. Shout out to my amazing team, my brother, directed by Dad. It's very hard sometimes trusting people with the vision, and he knows, like, we've built rapport with each other, and he knows exactly what I like. Shout out to Kip Na Voice, another person who was there from the very beginning and contributing to the vision. Just a few people I've worked with. Brittany Takes Photos did a great job on my very first music video, making props. And she just, like, I remember my very first video, I sat down with Brittany and I'm like, I want to be in a
what song was it?
Disco Alamo.
Disco Alamo.
That was my very first
favorite
music.
I posted that one today.
My very first music video. Those props, everything. Shout out to Super Hecka OMG for her makeup, and OG Music Natho, thank you for shooting that video. That took a lot, and it was everything that literally came from my mind. I didn't know if it can be executed, because when we think about these visions, we think I want to execute my ideas. I don't want anything to ever be basic. So when you have somebody that, like Brittany Takes Photos, she's listening to everything. And sometimes people have conversations where, hey, Renee, I want to do something with you, an idea. But I'm telling Brittany all these ideas. She literally emails me, and she's a graphic designer, creative director herself. Writes a storyboard,
right?
Draws everything out, and says, no, I said, I have this idea where I want to be on the TV shoot, but I think it's stupid. You want the TV? We'll get you a TV. Built it, got it done. And yeah.
So for those of you just joining us again, you're here watching the Venus Lounge. My special guest today is AMK, Alien Mac Kitty. I'm Renee Moncada, and you can follow us at It's the Venus Lounge and It's the Venus Lounge podcast. And thank you to my KPFA family.
Yes.
I'd like to thank Jess, who's here as a PA today, handling the sound and my cameras. I appreciate you. Miko and Antonio sending me tremendous and very useful notes from KPFA. I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Just having someone help you with your vision. I've always been the person that's kind of like helping other people with their visuals or with their productions. And this is the first time. And it just feels weird for other people to offer support to me and to say, hey, we're here for you. We just want to help make sure that you can focus on what you do. So I really appreciate that. As a creative and as a person that has your hands in everything, is it hard for you to sometimes accept the help without letting go of the trust and the control.
It is, but we can't do it all.
That's right.
So my brother Dag, I'll never forget when we worked on my video BIH. I was like, I wanted to just be in it so bad, but
in what, like in the mix?
In the mix, but because this is his art now. He's a videographer. This is his.
That's his lane.
I did
stay
out
lane.
of it. Yeah. So it's like, you know what? If I am hounding and breathing over his ear,
he can't do what he needs to do for you.
And I will never forget when because him and Kip Navois, shout out to Good Greed Art, they both were in the room. Like, he knows what I like, and they're both like, you know, bumping off like ideas, and I'm like, oh, can I go in there? Can I? Like, no. So I had to trust that. Once I was able to trust that and see the product and see what it all came out to be, what I still love is that Dag will still ask me and include me. What can we change? Are you okay with this?
Right. And after the facts, get some feedback and make sure we're on the right track.
Because it is difficult trying to be overseeing stuff. So that's why it's important to have a team, and my style and everything is so unique and different. And some people really don't believe in it, and then they see it take off and they're like, oh, I'm with it. So
So let's talk about motherhood. Let's talk about motherhood, because I asked you earlier, I was like, so you have a son, right?
Yeah.
And I asked you how old he was, and you said, I just like to say he's my baby. Why was it that you didn't want to say how old he was? The reason, I mean, you told me earlier, but share with everyone else.
My son, Cassidy, my baby, shout out to him too, because oh God, I get so emotional talking about him. Mm-hmm. He is just so beautiful and precious, and he has his own clothing brand, Stress Level Zero. He makes his own beats. Some of the songs that I have, I've recorded.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram. There's some of the stuff that he did.
He's so intelligent, so precious to me, and it's just like really my second chance at, I don't want to cry, at life. And some things.
Why do you say second chance at life?
Second chance at life because he literally came to earth 11 months and 1 day after my mom passed. And 11/11 was the time that I got the call that my mother passed away.
Oh, wow.
So things get really, really deep. And my mom passed away on July 29th, and my son was born June 30th. And
she came right back, huh?
Came right back. I was reading my old journal, and this could be a trigger warning. I'm super vulnerable. I was reading my old journal entry, and on June 30th, the year before I had my son, was the day I tried to attempt to take my life. And I remember things, it just didn't happen. And I remember that next day, like I said to myself, like I just reading the letter and just saying sorry and looking at the date, I remember saying to myself, like, okay, well, God clearly has me here for whatever reason, and it didn't happen the way I thought it would. And because my mom ended up passing a month after that attempt.
So it was after.
So it was a month. So June, my mom passed July 29th. Mm-hmm. That night, June 29th, I attempted, and I looked at the date and I wrote the note, and then June 30th was the
You wrote the note to your mom?
I wrote the note to everybody. And it was June 30th when I wrote the note, because I remember that night it happened. It was late night, and then it carried on to the next day, and I wrote the note and I just said what I had to say, and I was sorry. I said I was sorry to my mom because I didn't want to face what was happening. And my mom had stage 4 lung cancer, and we still to this day don't know where it came. It was aggressive and she was gone. So she was admitted in the hospital June 29th. And I just remember that night, I just couldn't. And then that feeling carried on to the next day. And I was just like, I just can't, and then I attempted it, didn't happen. And then that day, I just remember like saying like, okay, God has me here for a reason. Whatever reason it is, I clearly, it didn't happen. So I'll accept it. A year later, on that same day, I gave birth to my child. So that was my second chance, because July 29th was the night I was gone. And that was a piece of me that will never come back. But that it's crazy how when you document things and you read it and go back, it tripped me out. I'm like, I'm literally looking at this note.
I know.
And that's the day my son was born, so
it's almost like you were speaking to like your future self.
Renee, look, the spiritual, look, let me tell you, I've quantum jumped. I've been talking back. I've been back front. When I read my old diary writings, I was literally talking to myself in future, that in and just motivating future self, big higher self, motivating.
Leaving documents that I was here, even though I'm already over here and I'm already experiencing this on different and different parallels.
If you speak on it, someone's going to be like, no way. But when you go back and you have those receipts and you document it, it's like it's unreal.
Well, you so intuitively know that's what it is, like a feeling that you get when you know what you know about what you know. And I'm so happy you decided to stay here.
And I knew my mom's fate. I saw it in a dream, and I will never forget the dream I had. And I never forget seeing her eyes and hearing her cry. And I remember waking up from the dream. And then I remember her right after I woke up from the dream in real life, she got a phone call and they told her about the biopsy, and they told her it was happening.
Already happening.
So I believe in a higher source of power. I believe in these things, that these gifts that we're blessed with, to be able to be reminded that this is beyond me. I'm just a vessel. I'm just walking through.
Than you.
It's way bigger than that.
So back to my original question, and I love where we went with that.
My baby.
Yes, your baby, and why you are hesitant to tell people how old he is.
Because it's like, with all that being said, that is my most prized, my diamond, that is my heart. And I'm learning as I go into this industry and this journey that we have to be careful and hold those things close.
That's right.
And I will kill for my child. I will protect my child. I will protect him no matter what. And I realized I used to share him more, but people prey on energy.
And your children,
and my children,
and their energy, yes,
and exactly, and that's a whole different. You know what's up with that. There's been times where people have come up to him and, I like your mom's music and this and that, and there's been times where his dad has like said, oh yeah, this person came up saying like at the gas station, and one of the guys like, I like his music, and or I like her music, and it's times where like I want to keep my family close because I really don't want to hurt nobody.
So it's more of an issue of protecting others.
Yeah, that
and protecting your children.
Yeah, and just he knows me as mom, and
that's it. I was thinking about my children the other day. I have 4 children, and I as a mom, you go into these where you're just like, if I had done this, if I had done that. But there's the one thing that I know for a fact that I would not want to change is having my children.
Absolutely.
The amount of love that, your body goes through alchemy when you have children. And the amount of love that I feel for my children, nothing has ever given.
Incomparable.
Nothing. And like you said, like wanting to kill someone.
Absolutely.
I'll become a lion. I'll bite your head off.
I've been there
behind my kids.
I never played about my child.
Yeah, so it's just something about having children, having that experience. For me, I've never felt anything close to that. So I know. So when you said that, now I get it. I thought it was something else, but now I get it. It's about protection.
And we're in a different reality where we're physically here, but it's a lot of spiritual things going on.
Ooh-wee.
And we got to keep our kids and the people that we love close and protect it.
There's a lot of dark energy out there as well.
A lot of it
out there as well. So I wanted to ask you about your, like, how do you do you have a manager? How do you manage? Well, just before we came on, you were talking about your different shows that you had, and you were like booking stuff.
Yeah.
Do you handle all of that?
I handle all of it. I do have people that I trust to reach out, my mentors and people that, you know, will guide me in the right direction. My Verily God, Mama Letty is
I love
my Letty.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry. Mike Mosley. Like Mike just Mosley. That's my tribe.
That's right. You gotta have a tribe.
And they don't play about me and they love me. Someone I connected with that I feel like we've been family from lifetimes ago. AC the producer, a good mentor. People in this industry, my uncle TC, it's just people that's not going to play about me, and that's what they're there for, my tribe. And but Letty and Mike, they're my
you gotta have people like that in your circle that are there to support you and also tell you when you might be slipping or tripping.
Absolutely.
And, you know, are you receptive to that from the people that are close to you?
I am receptive to that, to certain people that actually know me and are not afraid of me and not afraid to tell me the truth. And it's only a few, like literally like someone very special to me, Freetown ZMG, like that's one of my very close friends, like one of the closest people to me that have known me for so long, that will tell me the truth. Irk Originals is another person that will tell me the truth. And it might sound like some people don't like hearing about themselves. Like my best friend Chastity that lives in Texas, they'll tell me, I'm stubborn. I can be. But I do know who means well.
Right. And you also, sometimes a certain amount of stubbornness can keep you focused and you know what you want too. Someone told me, and I think it was Miko last week, that said, it's okay for people to tell you and give you criticism and advice as long as they come with a solution.
Absolutely.
And I was like, wow, that's brilliant. Like, you know, don't just be like, yeah, it sucked. She said it was bad.
Yeah.
Okay. But maybe I can help you do this.
Absolutely.
You know? And I was like, you know what? Thank you for that. You know, because sometimes, you know, I want to be receptive to what people are saying, but don't bring me down. You know what I'm saying?
And speaking like,
I love that, by the way, Miko.
That's because it's like, some people can throw a comment out there, but it's like, what do you mean by that? Oh, the sound sucks or this or but what do you mean? Are we just gonna it's a lot of hate out there. Another thing I wanted to say too, when I speak about like people being honest and talking to me, my son's dad, we have made it to a point where we can be close, and we've been friends since we were 14, since we were kids. We did not have the best relationship. We went through the ups and downs, but we've made it to a point where we are able to be close again, co-parent peacefully, without possession, without, oh, I still want you, you still want me. And someone like that is someone who really, we can now have honest conversations that we couldn't have whenever we could. And I can receive those things to help me be a better woman, a better person.
Yeah. So to be open. I love when you talked about the co-parenting and that you could still be a family without the possessiveness. Because it looks a lot of different ways these days.
Oh, it does.
You know, having a family looks a lot of different ways.
Absolutely.
It doesn't always mean blood. It doesn't always mean a relative. Having children with someone that you might even not have that sort of romantic sort of relationship that you wanted to have. Like everything is not going to line up. I had a really great conversation with my homegirl, Nikki Thomas, the other day. And we were talking about, you know, not having it all. It was like one gentleman that she really liked and they felt close together. But they weren't in a relationship, but they both had children with other people. And so I was like, okay, and so that sounds like a family to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So is there love there? Is there a willingness to make it work?
Absolutely.
Is there mutual respect? That's a family. You know what I mean? So I think we're coming into a time where women and men, we can look to have a family and even have children and not have it be in that traditional sense. I know a gay couple who it's two men, but there's a woman who carried the baby, but they're all a family.
Yep.
So, and she's not interested in being romantic,
Yep.
and they're not interested in being romantic, but
They're
all
a
have
family.
equal love for
Yep.
the child. And I just think that's so beautiful.
Yep.
There's so many different ways. I'm off. Renee's for the kids. I'm off for the children.
Yeah,
Like,
me too.
whatever y'all need
AMK
to
loves
do,
the kids.
you know, whatever y'all need to do to make it work, be there for your children.
Mhm.
However the family dynamic looks, they need two parents.
Absolutely.
And they need y'all to love each other.
Yep.
And
Love is love.
Love is love. They do not care. When my children, we were going to the Montessori school, there was a gay couple, two men that
Mhm.
had a son, and my children never asked they never asked, why do they have two dads?
Yeah.
You know why? Because they saw them picking up every day,
Yep.
like us, running to the
Yep.
school, running
Yep.
back. It never even occurred to
Yep.
them. They were doing the exact same thing that we were
Yep.
doing. And
Shout
so,
out to my queer community. I love
you know
y'all.
what
Y'all
I'm
know
saying?
what's up.
Let's look at some of the comments here. Oh, what's up? Seamus Holly is a friend from from middle school. I think we knew each other when we were 7 years old. And I'm so sorry that I snapped your suspenders when we were on the playground. I pulled his suspenders way back and they hit his chest.
Seamus.
I'm sorry, Seamus. But I love you, and I love your mom. Soul sisters, keep it up. Family is what we make of it.
Yep,
That's
it is.
right.
That's
family
true.
is what you make of it. And everybody that's a relative ain't family, and everybody that's family don't have to be a relative.
Nope. I've cut family off plenty of times.
Girl.
I will unfamily you. But you know what it is? I love from a distance. I still love you, but I love you from a distance.
I'm good at that. Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine over here.
Yeah, I'm fine over here.
Because I feel like family sometimes can be the first to open up those wounds because they know exactly where to hit you and they know exactly where to touch you. I feel like
sometimes family too only knows you and sees you to the extent that they are how you show up in their life.
Absolutely.
And I found this out when my aunt passed away. I only saw her as my aunt, but then she had all these psychic she had so many other lives. So family kind of only sees you as one dimensional, I think sometimes. So you gotta.
And speaking like when you just spoke on your aunt, I just want to acknowledge my auntie Carla. That's actually my
auntie Carla.
son's dad's aunt. She transitioned couple years ago, but my auntie Carla, and also my son's dad's mom, they don't see me as the one-dimensional being. My auntie Carla accepted me for
multi-dimensional.
Exactly.
We are multi-dimensional.
And so when auntie Carla transitioned, I had a dream before she transitioned, and she was transitioned in the dream, but she came to me. Then a week later,
to get on these dreams, girl. You keeping a dream book? So she transitioned. You had the dream first, then she transitioned, and then.
But her message was like, I'm happy. I'm where I want to be, and that's what it was. And when she transitioned, it wasn't. I was sad of the physical,
of course,
but when I tell you, she was talking to me through numbers, and she used to tell me, you can talk to your mom, you can connect to her,
but there's nothing like touching. Touching and feeling
that
is a
energy,
gift.
yeah,
or just physically touching.
That's
beautiful. Something that the spirit world cannot. You can't just like to touch somebody, to hug somebody. It's just such a gift. Like I'm a hugger, and I love hugging people.
Me too.
I think about my aunt too, but I miss touching her. I miss smelling
the smell,
her.
the touch, the sense.
All of
absolutely.
That. But I only can connect with her when I'm feeling happy and I'm feeling good. Like she tells me that too. Don't cry for me.
My mom
I
did
go
that.
away when you do that.
Yep.
So I have to like keep her honor and be happy and be grateful and know that they hear you. Yes, they're here and all around. I just love this.
I just felt like an energy hug right now.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, so this is the Venus Lounge. I'm reintroducing for those of you who are just joining and also that have been here the entire broadcast. I really appreciate y'all joining this conversation and commenting.
So beautiful.
This is Alien Mac Kitty AMK, artist and creator, mother, just all around super human and subhuman.
Yes,
like alien vibes. And I'm your host, Renee Moncada-McElroy.
All of it.
And this is the Venus Lounge. And make sure you guys follow us and follow KPFA Radio. We're a part of the KPFA family, so you can follow us at KPFA 94.1 on Facebook and Instagram, and KPFA Radio on Twitch TV, YouTube, and Twitter.
KPFA and
Yes.
AMK.
All right, so we have a few more minutes here.
Okay.
I want to talk about what you got coming up.
I am coming from vocal cord surgery, so I'm easing
That's
my
right.
way back in. That was a whole process in itself. Excuse me. But April, okay. I am a part of a compilation. Shout out
Okay.
to De La City, Tonyo. Frisco Days, that's coming out 415. You know, I can't even put it into words, but he's been doing such a good job pushing his issue. So we have the listening party coming up. There's going to be events about that curated around the compilation tape. We have so many artists from San Francisco, from the soil, that's on it. So
okay, yeah, I saw that. So when is that again? I want to come to that.
The listening party is on March 31st, and then
Okay.
we have a 415 day event that's to be announced, and it's
Okay.
just it's going to just be a whole celebration. But the rollout is amazing. We're starting the rollout right now. High Speeds and Heme is out right now, so y'all can stream it. I'm trying to like get it all out.
No,
Then
go
we
ahead.
have March, so that's March 31st, and then that 415 day as well. So March 30th, I will be vending at El Rio for a Make Room. My boy Lunchbox is going to be throwing an event.
Is that in San Francisco?
It's in San Francisco.
Okay, El Rio.
And the proceeds
Okay.
will be going to the queer community to help unhouse and queer community needs. So it's the profits will be going there. I'm sorry if it's not verbatim. Lunchbox, don't hate me. April 2nd, I will be having my own set at Swagger Like Us at El Rio. So if you haven't had a chance to come see me live, please pull up. April 14th, I will be in Sacramento at Slim and Huskies. Shout out to Mendez Entertainment, another person that gave me an opportunity to flourish. And I believe that's it so far.
But you stay pretty consistent on your updates on your Instagram.
Follow me on Instagram.
Alien Mac Kitty.
And shout out to Afterthought and Stunnerman 02.
Oh, Stunnerman.
We did an event last Thursday. It was so beautiful. It was called The Dinner Table. I was my first time performing with a live band, Stunnerman as well. And Afterthought reached out to me and thought of me. And I just have so much love. Shout out to the whole entire family, not a group. The whole thing. It was beautiful. Like, I just can't even put it in words. More details are on my page if you need to go check that out. And then Lil MC, Queens of the Underground, I did that event at the Moxie in Oakland last week. And I'm just so happy to be embraced and loved. And I just had to acknowledge that. And yeah.
I'm glad you're happy, and I'm glad you feel embraced.
Thank you.
And loved, and that you found your way back through your creativity.
Yes.
What advice would you give young people who are feeling up pain and are contemplating, ending their life on this plane?
Yeah. Know that you are never alone. Those emotions can be heavy, but they are, I wouldn't necessarily say temporary emotions, because in the moment we feel these things, but we don't want to do something that is forever in a moment that could potentially pass. Know that you're not alone. Some of us, we look a certain way, we act a certain way, but some of us have been there. We do a good job. I feel like I do a good job sometimes masking this. And there are days where it's heavy on me, but never give up. I'm a walking testimony of just push through. It may not make sense right now, but eventually it'll come together. If anyone ever feels that moment and you have my social media handle, please reach out to me. I am never too big. I am never too anything. And you have an ear. Write it out, scream, create. Don't let yourself get in the way of yourself, and trust in love and whatever higher power you believe in, whether that's God or infinite source. Just know that you are capable of getting out and keep pushing through no matter what.
When you were in those times, were there any little, glimpse of light or hope that was like, okay, that gives me some hope to be here? Like, was it a signal to say, okay, I feel this way? Sometimes when when you're feeling pain or you're feeling, I just out of balance is what I like to say, because I don't like to put label on things.
Out of balance. I love that.
When you're just feeling out of balance,
I like
to
that.
me, it's a signal that you're just not in balance.
Yeah.
That there's something missing for you to feel better. It's almost like, how do you know something hurts if you don't feel pain?
Exactly.
So you'll just keep going through life all scarred up and beat up, not knowing that, hey, I want better for myself. So sometimes just having a different perspective of what depression may be.
I like that. Out of balance. Because I hate saying depression, because I'm claiming that. I don't want to claim that.
Right.
I don't want to claim anxiety.
Exactly. And these terms get thrown out.
Yeah.
And there's
they stick
agendas
to
behind that too, preying on
Absolutely.
people who are like, yeah, I feel that. Not to say people do feel heaviness, we do feel sadness, but know that it's a temporary thing, and it's a signal to let you know that you're out of balance and you're missing something in your life. And like you said, whatever your higher source is, whatever your faith is, look to that to give you the answers.
And there have been times where I've been in the darkest moments and my son will snap me out of it. There's times when my son's not around, but I get a phone call from someone and it'll be like, hey, just want to let you know I love you.
Infinite source.
Hey, hey, what are you doing? My friend Irk has been one of those people that have called me during those moments. Like, I throw a signal out and I'm like, hey, whoever gets the signal,
that's what I'm saying. Call it out.
Call it out. My best friend Freetown in his approach is more like tough love. And I don't have that from my dad or my mom. And it's important to have that. Like, hey, like, just remember, like, get up. Come on.
Don't
like,
be no
he just told me the other day, like, man, whatever it takes for you to get out of there.
Yeah.
And I'm learning to accept love in different forms. I'm also learning that, in the last 3 months, I've been up and down. It's been a lot after that surgery. It was a lot of stuff.
And sometimes not getting up. Sometimes just go to bed. Go to
take
sleep.
A nap. Yep.
Go lay down and reset, because
recharge.
Reset, recharge. Stop the momentum. Just stop everything and go to bed.
I've taken that.
Now get up and shower. And try and drag yourself out. But sometimes sleep and just rest and unplugging from the world really helps. But I like what Seamus Holly says, infinite source.
Yeah.
It's just infinite, meaning it's all there.
I'm learning that the world has loved me and the universe has loved me in the last 3 months in ways that I expected from a specific source. I opened my eyes to where the universe knew what I needed. God knew what I needed. Infinite love. I have love from the sun, and the sun is hugging me. Why is the sun hitting me like this today? Knowing I know what I'm feeling internally, but the sun is like, here you go. Or
here you go.
The wind blows a certain way, or the colors are more brighter, or kids giving me pictures, or people just hugging me, or maybe the I love you I expected. And this is for anybody who needs it. Maybe the I love you want from that source is just incapable to give it to you. But we don't need to ignore the I love yous from the world, or I love you from maybe your friend, or whatever.
So love is not just a emotion, but a vibration.
Absolutely.
An act of light.
Yeah.
So it could be like what brings you joy.
Yeah.
What illuminates you inside. What makes you feel good.
Yeah.
The sun is saying, hey, baby.
I feel you. And we have to sometimes we get so clouded, and I think we need to sometimes I have to just stop, take a moment, and I look at the sky and I'm like, oh my God, it's a system going on here. So we embrace it. We're all one. We're all one. We are all a vibration.
Yep. We are one big vibration, all of us having different frequencies. So Talia Taylor says, yes, depression is a signal. That's a great way of putting it. It's a signal. Yep. You're sending out a signal saying, I need some help here.
Yeah.
Send me. It's the red flag. It's the SOS.
I've done that.
But it's a stigma attached to it. That's why I do not like labels.
Yeah.
It's either you imbalanced or you out of balance.
I'm in balance.
And then there's different frequencies within that. You could be really out of balance or a little bit out of balance, but it's just still all
and
out
being
of balance.
kind to your best ability. I like to always say, leave someone with the impression of increase. You never know what a person could be going through. I'm very energy sensitive, so I could pick up on like someone venting to me about something, and I did it today where I told them I can feel that it's more than this simple thing that your paper that you're passing me, but just know, hey, you can only do so much. You can't pour from an empty cup. And just sometimes when you give those affirmations or those just throwing those mantras out there, it might be the sign that a person really needed to hear today and be like, I needed to hear that. So thank you. I've had so many of those. So being kind to your best ability, and don't fall into those energy traps where you're having a messed up day, someone cuts you off and you're ready to go off.
Right.
Don't fall into
Give
those
them
things.
grace. No, they're out there. People just want to push your buttons too, just
And
to
they
have
those,
some interaction.
And they feel those demons will feel off that.
They sure
it's not
will.
worth it.
They sure will. Somebody said, sometimes it's good to cry. Yes, it's good to cry. I wrote this morning in my meditation because I take a lot of salt baths. And it was something that said salt is the cure-all. If you look at the energetic properties of salt, but crying has salt. The ocean has salt.
Wow.
And also, what else? Your tears have salt.
Yeah.
And so all of those things are good to cure. So don't be afraid to cry. I've had some snotty nose cries, and I felt so good afterwards.
It feels good. It's a part of raining. And you know what I do sometimes? I take a deep breath, and my followers know what I can't say it all the way. I can't say it, but we say F Charles. Sometimes if you just
got that
scream,
in the song. Who's F Charles?
Charles, you just gotta Charles. Charles knows. Charles know what he did.
F
so
Charles.
We just say F Charles.
Start saying that.
If you need to blame it on somebody, blame it on Charles. It doesn't matter.
Just a name that you hate. Just
Charles.
blame it on there.
Charles. Charles know what he did. So if anybody ever just scream it.
Yeah, Epsom salt. Epsom salt. I put a whole bag of Epsom salt in there. She says salt baths. Yes, Epsom salt lifts the energy off and washes you off, especially when you're out and about. Take an Epsom salt bath to wash it all off. You'll literally feel better. Well, I enjoyed having you. Can I have a hug?
Absolutely. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I receive you.
Okay, so we're gonna have a segment coming up on the Venus Lounge called Meet Me in the Bathroom.
Okay.
And I've been doing it for a while, and I'm just gonna introduce it into the Venus Lounge, and we just take our cameras into the ladies' room at any club, restaurant, and just pick up the conversations that happen. And so I want you to come to that.
Okay.
And we're gonna do something a little special there.
Let's do it.
So we'll plan for that in the next couple of shows.
Let's do it.
I really appreciate y'all tuning in to the Venus Lounge. Make sure you follow us at It's the Venus Lounge on Instagram, and It's the Venus Lounge podcast, and then also my KPFA family at KPFA 94.1 on Facebook and Instagram, and KPFA Radio on Twitter, Twitch TV, and YouTube. And Alien Mac Kitty.
Yes. Thank you all.
It's been such a vibe. Yeah. We're going to throw that banner up, and we're going to go out with a little music. And thank y'all. I love y'all.
I love you guys.
Okay. Is the music on? Testing. 1, 2.
Test. We did it.